A very good morning and welcome to the third and final day of competition at the Tbilisi Grand-Prix 2017. I'm delighted to be sitting next to Loretta Cusack-Doyle, who's going to give you some information about who we should be looking out for today. A very good morning to you, Loretta.
Good morning, Sheldon. And starting with the under 78 kilo category, well, it's going to start with some fireworks. We've got Malonga as the number one seed, but if she gets to the quarterfinal, it could be with Chechin of the Ukraine. Malonga, Paris, 7th place in Tbilisi, 5th place last year, but Chechin, under 23 European champion last year, so that's going to be a real head-to-head for the final. But on the bottom half is a teammate, Camara from France, and she took the bronze medal in Paris, so that was the under 78.
Okay.
With the plus 78s, again there's a little battle going on here, and but Romaka of the Ukraine, again another strong, the Ukrainians have got their strong athletes here today for the women, and bronze medal in Baku. She's got 8 Grand Slam medals and 8 Grand Prix medals and 3 Grand Slam under her belt already.
Okay.
And we have Pakanita of Lithuania. She's the number 2 seed. She got a bronze medal in Abu Dhabi. So that's but again, Athema from Brazil. She's 5th in the Olympic Games, 2nd in the World Championships, but she also got the gold medal in Abu Dhabi. So that's going to be a tough one. But coming on to the men, delighted to see that we've got the number 1 seed is Max Stewart, world ranked number 19. 2 Grand Prix medals, and he had a spell of injury, but he got a 5th place in the Grand Slam in Paris. So he's in the top position. Magayani of Georgia is obviously going to be the main favourite for this weight category to take a medal or even the place. He got a 3rd place in Baku a fortnight ago, and he was outstanding that performance.
Okay.
So that's definitely one to watch. And coming up to the under 100s, we've got the number 1 seed, Pacek
Martin
of
Pacek.
Sweden. I do apologise.
With a few Swedes watching on.
And a gold medal last year in Tbilisi, so he'll obviously be wanting to replicate that result. But he has also got the number 3 seed in his quarter, Karina from Brazil, number 3 seed, world ranked 23, and Grand Slam silver medal in Abu Dhabi, Pan American silver medalist. So again, a strong contender on his road to that final. We've then got Kubanov of the Uzbekistan, world 15, 2nd the Grand Prix, 2 Grand Prix medals, 2nd in the Asian Championships, a real strong contender. But the Georgian hopeful will be
Sanablidze,
of Georgia. 2015, he was the world cadet champion. He took a bronze medal in the World Cadet Championships. The youngsters have done very well, so he might be one of the dark horses of the tournament that will come in here and start shining on home turf. So we've just got to watch out for his performance for the day.
Okay, that's in the under 100. What about in the plus? Have we got
plus 100s? Well, we have Moura of Brazil.
David Moura,
and he's number 1 seed, Pan American champion. Bodorenko of
Stanislav
Ukraine,
Bodorenko,
again another Ukraine. So it looks like the Ukrainians have put their strongest here in this final day. He took a bronze medal in Baku a fortnight ago.
And we've got 2 Georgians.
But we've got 2 Georgians that have got a good track record. Okarashvili of Georgia, under 20, world ranked 23. And Matizashvili of Georgia, who's world ranked 21 and has a very impressive record.
We're going to begin by watching the contests in the under 90 kilo category on mat number 1. It's Peter Zilka of Slovakia. He faces Abdulhaq Rasulu of Azerbaijan. Zilka in the white judogi, Rasulu in blue. That's on mat number 1. Have we had any other Slovakians this time round? Just trying to think who we may have had over the last couple of days. I think they have had a couple. If they have, unfortunately, they haven't made much of an impression, as we can't think of them. We'll have a look and see who it is they've sent.
Well, Zilka there, as you can see, is trying to throw that right hand over the top. Rasula trying to control that sleeve down. He obviously feels there's a real threat there. So it's a battle of grips at this moment to take control and pace this contest. Rasula with the Ouchigari there.
3 Slovakians have come to Tbilisi. Matej Hajaš in the under 100 kilo category, so we haven't seen him yet. And the only one that we did have a look at was Matej Poliak in the under 66 kilo category. He ended up with a 5th place. So apologies to Poliak, who we must have had a look at some stage, but he escaped my memory. Anyway, it's Zilka who's on the mat. He was a runner-up in the European Open in Katowice a couple of weeks ago. He'll be on his way back to Poland again soon for the European Championships in a couple of weeks' time, I dare say.
Rasula, there's that right hand high collar grip, drawing his opponent down onto his knees. It's very, very strong there. Really sizing each other up here in this first round. Neither one of them want to make that ultimate sacrifice just in case of a mistake. It's a real warm-up for them. Real clash of styles out here. Both opting to be quite sort of defensive there on that sleeve, but Rasula drawing his opponent's arm across his chest, trying to extreme. He attacks on for that Oso to the side, leaving himself very vulnerable there for the counter. And Zilka picks up the first Wazari with just 1 minute and 4 seconds left in this contest. Now works that leg out, looking for the Osakomi to finish this contest off. Well, Rasula does extremely well to escape from the Niwaza.
Forty-odd seconds left to go. Zilka leading. Not going to give this away now. See, Rasulu's making an absolute error here. He's trying to make Zilka look passive. He hasn't tried to throw him once. He's just tried to pull him around and make Zilka look passive. Now we know Zilka's got the lead. That's the first time that he's tried to throw him in 35 seconds.
Well, he tried earlier on, but it was a really half-hearted attack. He came off to the side, left his back open, and that's where he got the counter, and the Wazari against him for a really poor effort.
45 seconds, he had one big Osotogari effort. What was the rest of the time spent doing? Just trying to pull him around. Now, Zilka could very well have picked up a second penalty. All that would have done is inspired Rasulu to try and make him even more passive again.
Yes.
Wrong decision. Why didn't you try and throw him? Here we go. I'd leave you with Loretta Cusack-Doyle.
Well, it always sounds easier talking about it than it is. And I'm sure a lot of people say, well, they are out there trying to throw. And it was first match, as we always expect. It's a little bit cold, and the warm-up is just that first match, and it gives you the indication of what's going to happen for the rest of the day. But Rasula, obviously an early shower for him for the rest of the day, but Zilka going through to the next round of this men's under 90 kilos. Well, now representing Georgia in the white, Simadoze. and Dretzinski of Russia in the blue. And a lovely drop, Sianagi there for the Russians, scoring Ippon. And there's no question about that throw. Well, they obviously seen that it wasn't as perfect as it looked from this angle and downgraded to a Wazari. Giving the Georgian a little bit more extra time out there to settle into this contest. Oh, and a lovely Uchimata! Well, that was a perfect throw there, and what a comeback. A Wazari apiece now. And this has definitely woken up this crowd here in Tbilisi. Again, the Uchimata, obviously very comfortable and confident in that technique as he now works in the ground. But as you can see, the Shimiwaza was on the chin there, that lapel just a little bit too high. Well, this has turned out to be a very exciting match in the opening rounds of this under 90 kilos. So the battle is really on with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this contest. The Georgian, very light, moving around very comfortably on this mat. And Shido now goes to Russia.
I do enjoy chatting with the coaches and the fighters after they've been on, and getting their side of what we were looking at. Uchimata effort right-sided.
Oh, goodness! Well, this has been 1-for-1. There's some superb judo going on in this mat.
Radinsky comes up with
the Russian came out with the first score with a Wazari, and we thought it was Ippon, got downgraded to a Wazari, and then the Georgian came out flying with this wonderful Uchimata and matched it within seconds of the mate. And this has just been 1-for-1, big throwers. It's a really exciting match.
Still a minute to go. May yet get some more action.
The Georgian looking for that. Oh, and again another drop. A Wazari. 3 Wazaris now.
He's got the better of him now, hasn't he?
Well, it looks like it could be over here with that Jujikatami that he's trying, but the Georgian does extremely well to read that and back up onto his feet.
Number 9 Russian.
The number 9 Russian, and he's out there as if he's world champion. He really is. It's such a wonderful match this is.
I mean, the quality of judo that you've seen from him.
Fantastic.
And to be number 9.
Now Uchimata is so dangerous.
Yeah. Just a little bit too far away that time, wasn't he?
Yes, but the other 2 attacks that he put in earlier on,
Right.
Amazing.
Who heads Ritinsky then? Mikhail Igolnikov, Kirill Voprosov, Magomed Magomedov, Kirill Denisov, and Hussein Karl Musaev, the twin brother of the current Olympic champion at under 81 kilos. They're all ahead of him, and some others as well. What a lineup the Russians have got in there at 90 kilos. Okay, so it is Stanislav Ritinsky who goes into round 2 after an exciting match with Nika Ziramonidze of Georgia. Georgian taking an early exit. Well, we can stay here because coming up next is Bekmurod Oltiboyev of Uzbekistan. He faces Alexander Romanyuk of Ukraine. It's Oltiboyev in the white judogi, Romanyuk in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Suk Hee of the Republic of Korea. We started with the under 90 kilo category. Loretta Kusak-Doyle was telling us that the number 1 seed is Max Stewart of Great Britain. I think the British have been, it's been a while since they've had a number 1 seed at a Grand Prix. Anyway, male that is. There's the number 1 seed here. The number 2 seed is Ushangi Margiani of Georgia. Number 3 seed is Kantolga Altanbanga of Mongolia, and the number 4 seed is Gustavo Assis of Brazil. A little under 2 minutes left to go. Oltiboyev leads by that single Wazari. Yeah, that could go for a score. Brought him down on his side. I think there would have been a Yuko there in the past. So what was Yuko is now Wazari. It's away from the referee. It's a difficult one to see, but there are 2 contest judges there. They've got a good view of that and they can help their mat colleague out. I wouldn't write that down as an error from the referee. It was away from her, and part of the body that she can see would have suggested that it was not a score. The part of the body that was away from her would have been easier for her colleagues to see. It would have been right at their feet. They had a much better view of that, and that's why they gave that as a score. So 2 scores on the board for Oltiboyev. Oh, another one. They give the Osai Komi. I think they could have given a Wazari as well. There's a Tokita. I'm sure they're got to be looking at that. Well, yeah, Wazari for the Ojigari. Got a bit of a bash to the nose here, I think. Have to tidy that up. There's a cut in the up on the cheekbone, I think. Maybe even higher up, just around the eye. Both fighters receiving some treatment now. Well, it'll take a couple of seconds to tidy things up, and then we'll be back underway. So that last action, I thought, may have resulted in a score. 2 scores on the board for Oltiboyev, but was it Romaniuk that was the Kosotagaki? No, it was Romaniuk who attempted the Kosotagaki, and it was almost countered by Oltiboyev. A 3rd score on the board for Oltiboyev. Romaniuk looks as though he's been through the wars there. There's a tape up on that right side of the head. Tough fight that really was. A bruising battle. Right, on the mat now then. At number 1 in the under 100 kilo category. It's the first contest in the under 100 kilo category for us. Suni Nemadze of Georgia faces Maksat Isagabuliev of Kazakhstan. Let's have another go at that. It's under 100 kilos. Let's just finish off on the 90 kilo category because it was Oltiboyev who defeated. What was it then? We were watching that half. That was the first of the contests in the under 100 kilo category. Bekmurod Oltiboyev defeated Alexander Romaniuk. Sorry about that. So it was Oltiboyev who went through to round 2. He'll face Martin Pacek in round 2 of the under 100 kilo category. Another score on the board there for Nemadze. And now we are watching Soni Nemadze of Georgia. He's up against Maksat Isagabyilov. Here you go. Nemadze in the white judogi, Isagabyilov in blue, and it's the Georgian Nemadze who leads by 2 wazaris to 1. That's the current state of the contest. And now Nemadze is going to have to take a bit of a break. I think it's just the fingers, and those are normally done pretty quickly because it's just a bit of retaping. It's the blood injuries, a cut lip or a nose or some scratch to the face. They take time to tidy up. First of all, you've got to stop the blood, and then you've got to find a way of making sure that, or doing as best as possible to make sure that you don't get another leakage, if you know what I mean. Whereas the fingers,
it's just
bit of
strapping
tape.
them to each other. There's not a lot you can do. You
Send
either
them back
carry
out.
on or you don't.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of situations. It comes with the sports. Fingers and toes always been the first to go.
Yeah. The extremities.
Definitely. Georgian, as you can see, trying to work his opponent, the legs in there, looking for that turnover. Well, this is one of the referees that just doesn't tolerate any nonsense. He's straight in there.
The other one's on the other mat.
Yeah, zero tolerance.
Yeah, they both do.
It's straight in.
Ooh. That's got that
The
blocked.
Georgians trying to get those hips through. Koichigari dropped onto the Sienagi. Good combination there.
It's all tied up now. It's that single Shido gives the Kazakh a slight advantage, but only the positive scores count in normal time.
Well, an attempt of a Sutemi Waza there, but really a very poor attack that put him in quite a vulnerable situation now.
Just the foot trapped. He can't get that out though.
Well, as you can see, that hand is trying to block the leg that's trying to dig the.
Got the timing right, didn't he?
Yeah.
Freed the leg, twisted at the same time, got himself out of it. You get that wrong, it could all go pear-shaped. Alexander Mikhalin and Adam Okarashvili, the third fight up on mat number 1. That looms large shortly. A few years ago, that would have been a
very tough
top draw fight.
Top seeds, wouldn't it?
He may very well.
Well, he dropped Sianagi, but as you can see, got that arm just caught up around his neck. Didn't have much rotation on it. Came in really well, deep into the drop. Kazakhstan with that left hand on the lapel, trying to block out, but he's not doing a very good job at the moment with it. But Georgian just doing a little bit too much, and Kazakhstan following into the Niwas are looking, but as you can see, looks up at the scoreboard to see there's only a second left.
Well, Namadze picked up a second penalty in normal time, so he's the one who's going to have the biggest problem in the golden score period, because a single error will put him out. Good effort. And you can see there, Namadze didn't have the power to take advantage of what turned out to be a poor finish. He should have been able to secure the Osaikomi on Isagabilov from that position. Oh, that's a better effort.
Oh, but he left
almost counted.
He was a little bit slow there, so it was able to anticipate that movement.
No power.
And react quickly on that.
He got close, but there wasn't the power to trouble him.
He got him very well. Yeah. But just didn't have that push off at the end.
And as a result, as Loretta was saying, it's because of that he almost got counted. He just didn't have the power to trouble the Kazakh fighter. This is going to suit Namadze. Actually, I think it's Nemtsade. This is going to suit him. He needed a break. We just saw him drained in that last attack.
He needs to compose himself because, like you say, 2 Shidos on the board, he really is in a vulnerable situation there.
And he just needs one good attack to come up with another score. He takes it. The first one to score wins. I don't think he's going to get penalised now, because he every second that he's out there, the energy level is just creeping up. He needs sufficient enough energy for one burst. He's already scored twice. This, I think, is going to suit Nemtsade.
So if he doesn't pick up a final Shido, his body language, I don't know what's going on in his mind, but he doesn't look very positive at this moment. There's a Gabilov there coming back into the scene.
One big attack from the Georgian will do it.
Nemtsade really has to put in all the attacks. He has to look positive here. He's capable of throwing. We've seen that. Mm-hmm. It's whether he has the actual power and energy to follow through with this now. Waiting a little bit too long on that grip. As you can see, he's got the drop Sianagi. He showed it, but he really wasn't sure. He didn't have the confidence to go through with it. Oh, Ashiwaze broke his opponent's balance.
just wants to free his hands up. Nemzadze frustrated a little bit by Isagabilov. Makikomi effort. There you go.
And that's gotta be the score.
He just needed one.
And like you
One
say,
big effort.
that Mate situation, that pause in the match and the golden score was enough to let him get back and compose himself.
Because he was done.
Because he was done. He was on a hill going downwards.
He didn't need a big spanking throw. He needed a good, strong attack that would bring his weakened opponent down. I mean, in the first minute, that wouldn't have got anywhere near Isagabilov. But he was also weak, so a good, strong attack was always going to trouble him. He'd thrown him twice already. The difficulty was Isagabilov going to be able to attack him first? Because he'd thrown him twice.
Yes.
It was a nicely balanced contest, but it was the Georgian that came up with the score. Nemzadze we'll see in round 2. You know, they're not the prettiest of contests, but there's something in there. You know, there's this balance going on, and to see who's going to come up and take it, I think is interesting. Right, who have we got now? Menashkin's got a bye. Grigory Menashkin of Estonia. We were asking about the Estonians yesterday. We had the Latvians and the Lithuanians. We've got the Estonian today, but he's got a bye into round 2. It's now Oleg Ishimov of Russia. He faces Yevgeny Borodavko of Latvia. It's Ishimov in the white judogi, Borodavko in blue. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be, you know, the highest flyers and, you know, the top flight fighters to give you a bit of tension.
Yes.
in a contest. It's when you can pick out where you are in the contest and what's required from both fighters that becomes interesting. You see one, you know, whose power is draining, the other one also going in that direction. You think, right, where are we going here? Who's going to come up with something a little bit special? Who's going to be able to dig deep and do something?
I think they come in a little bit apprehensive in the first match as well, because this is the first telltale situation of how they're going to perform for the rest of the day. That warm-up is what a lot of athletes really need, and it gives them that sort of confidence to move forward. Things
aren't looking good for Nemzadze if that's what's going to be on offer, because he was really drained. And, you know, the recovery, first of all, if he'd shown some real spark in minute 1, 2 or 3, then you'd say okay. But he was fairly, you know, pedestrian anyway. He came up with a couple of scores, his opponent came up with a couple of scores, but he's now left me with the impression that there's not a whole, you know, mountain of beans there, and he's tired.
Yeah. And I think when we're looking at tight, because obviously one match, surely they're not going to be tired in one match. I know it's a lot of weight that they're moving around, but I think, which we tend not to think of it when they're big athletes, is the nerves that plays in this.
Yeah.
And nervous energy just zaps you, and that tension just creates that look of exhaustion. And if they get that pre-match nerves out of the way, then they seem to sort of accelerate and look better throughout for the rest of the day. It's just getting the cobwebs out, getting the nerves out of the way, and then moving forward. They know that they've actually got over the first hurdle, and that's winning that first match, that gives them that little bit of boost of confidence, and then they're projecting forward to where they want to be at the end of the day.
Well, Nemzadze has got Luciano Correa of Brazil in round 2, the number 4 seed, the former world champion, Luciano Correa. It's quite a while since
the Latvian here has just pinned his opponent down, the Russian. Ishimov really struggling now. Borodavko looking up at the scoreboard there as the clock ticks away, looking very comfortable and quite happy to see this one move him through to the next round. of the under 100 kilos. So a very convincing win for the Latvian that goes through. And he'll be up against the Estonian Mineskin a little bit later on. Well, now we have the plus 100s, Estonia in white, Georgia in the blue. This is the top half of the draw. The winner of these two will meet the number 1 seed, Moura of Brazil. The Estonian there was that high right collar grip, attempting a Sutemi Waza. Ochi Kosota on both sides. Nice combination there. The Estonian out there looking very sharp. Stronger of these two athletes. Once more, as you can see, that right arm from the Estonian giants come over the top, taking that high collar grip. You see Ashy was both left and right. Georgian there with the lapel, left hand lapel grip. He tries to fire that right hand over the top there. Well, that's where the Estonian's very dangerous, that Kosota. Well, both picking up a Shido. Piles the pressure on the Georgian now as he picks up 2. Still really very little effort coming from the Georgian. Looking slightly frustrated but disengaged in this contest. Confidence seems to be going low now with 2 Wazaris against him. The Estonian with that right high collar grip. Sutemi Waza looking for the knee Waza now to finish this contest off. The arm is out there and I think it's just a matter of time. Well, just needs to place himself in a better position and lever on the elbow, but at this moment doesn't seem to have got it right.
The Estonians have got a good history of producing heavyweights. Martin Padar was around for a while, and then before Martin Padar you had Indrik Pertelsen. Indrik Pertelsen may have fought at around the same time that Our next competitor is, was around, Alexander Michalin. he's still there.
Well, the Osot into the Makakomi.
Went the wrong way, didn't he, poor fella?
Well, that was one of the strongest attempts he's made so far in this contest. So 40 seconds left. Both athletes now starting to look very tired, as we said. Is it down to just pure exhaustion in this contest? These heavyweights have got lots of power for a short period of time, and then it becomes very depleted very quickly. Estonian looking for the Ashiwazas. Georgian now with the Makakomi once more, but this time he gets it right. He's looking to see if it's an Osakomi, but hasn't really secured it. Now he is, but for how long? It doesn't look...
That's better now. As soon as he got the head away from the leg, that was it. And there's no power left from Metis to take him off.
If you're going to steal a match, you steal it at that time. And he showed that last minute was when he just seemed to come alive a little bit. The couple of Makakomis, one he got completely wrong, went the wrong side. But the second one, he just got it right, and he persevered with it, following it right through into the Niwaza. The Osakomi didn't look as if it was going to be successful. And then all of a sudden, that head was free and he was able to clamp in.
And the other thing was Metis run out of steam.
Exhausted. He looked as if he had if that was within the first 2 minutes, he most probably would have sat up out of that technique. Well, that was a real turnaround in this contest. The Estonian looked like he had it in the bag, and the Georgian came alive with the delight of this crowd.
Right, on mat number 1 now. The big fight of the day, irrespective of whether it's first round or final. Adam Okarashvili of Georgia faces Alexander Michalin of Russia. It's Okarashvili in the white judogi, Michalin in blue.
Well, true legends in the weight category, these two athletes, and like you say, it's going to be a real battle between them. Okarashvili, world bronze medalist, European champion stroke games that was held in Baku in 2015, took the gold medal. Bit of a hero here for the Georgians. Michalin, the oldest in this weight division, or the most maturest in this weight division, if that's more politically correct.
The most mature. How old is he anyway? Because we're okay with the men.
37. You're okay with the men. The men are like a fine wine. They just get better as they get older. Is that the case? Yeah, Michalin, 37 years of age, is still looking very strong out there. Okarashvili, 28. So 9 years of a difference there. Michalin there looking for that left high collar grip. taking a lapel and a high collar. Not opting for a sleeve grip yet. Working off the Ashiwaza with the Kosota.
I was pondering earlier on whether Michalin had ever competed against Indrik Pertelsen, but they never did. They were around at the same kind of time. It was the end of Pertelsen's career, but he never went head to head against Michalin. He did fight Temenov, who was Michalin's teammate around the same kind of time, but never went head to head with Pertelsen. So that's that one done. Michalin picked up a second penalty there.
As you can see Okarashvili there with that shin over his opponent's left arm, trying to draw the weight onto that arm, because that is obviously the dangerous side. Comes round
chance
the back,
now.
but he lost his balance, and Michalin is capitalising on that. He's trying to settle his hand, but there's some weight to try and control.
Well, Michalin was given a score there as well. And then Okarashvili wriggled out of the Osai Komi. It was an error by Okarashvili. They cancelled the Rosari. I thought it was generous.
Well, Okarashvili is the heaviest heavyweight that we have in this competition today. The strength is in behind that left arm of Michalin. Controls quite nicely. Okarashvili came under. I think he dropped under his opponent just purely by the pressure of that left hand being there and threatening the Georgian. Made a wrong mistake there.
Well, they're having another look at it. And the Wazari is on there.
Well, it looked as a Wazari.
We've had the review a couple of times, and the more you look at it, the more you think, yep.
Well, there's almost 40 kilos between these two athletes. So it was no surprise that he couldn't most probably hold him down as long as he was hoping for. Okarashvili now is stepping up the pace, and he comes in with the drop Sianagi, but a little bit too late. So one of Georgia's top favourites to a medal. Looks like, I think they're just double checking to see with that throw, whether it was in time or not, because it was a score. Whether he was inside the time scale. Well, Michalin takes the win. I think they're just double checking with the time. When that drop came in, was it within the time of the contest, or was it just outside? Once it was within that second, he actually, I think he started the throw on the zero.
But there's another thing to look at. And he hasn't started the throw.
Yes.
He hasn't started the throw, and he's called mate already. Okay. Doesn't matter, because the reason that he was calling mate was to give a penalty. And on the third penalty, Michalin gets Hansoku Make. So all of that is immaterial. This is the important thing here. He knows he
Within
knows
1 second, Mate.
right. He's called Mate, so whatever Okrashvili does now is by the by. He does throw him, which would have been a score. However, it can't be a score because he's already called Mate. He would claim, I heard the Mate. Okrashvili was in the process of throwing. But this is the important thing. And the thing that's important for Okrashvili is that he's calling Mate to give Mikhailin a third penalty. Any way you look at it, he wins.
Yes.
Okrashvili wins. Whichever way you
it's
look
quite
at it.
because you're actually just zoomed in on the athletes that you don't really
see
pay
that
attention to the referee at all.
He's not the
But
action.
you can see that
Absolutely.
quite clear on the replay that the hand is there, the action of Mate's in place with 1 second left.
It's a tricky little sport, judo.
Oh. Well, Mikhailin will be pretty upset about that one.
Now, I'd like to see what the penalty was for, because I didn't see the penalty given. I think it was for avoiding.
I think it was going from the travelling to where the referee is right now. They travelled from that position to the further corner, and I think that travelling of that negativity
avoiding
was enough for him to say, right, Mate. As soon as he could see that the Georgian was just constantly at him and trying to get through.
And there's another reason why I think that it's for avoiding rather than passivity, because if we look here, Mikhailin attacks him in that corner.
Yes.
So he attacks him and he looks to block with 12 seconds to go. So he now cannot give him a penalty for passivity. Right? They call Mate there. He's got 11 seconds on the clock when we were looking at it. So it won't be for passivity. But now he just tries to run away.
Yes, you can see
arms are stretched out.
The block and the pushing with the hands down.
Yeah, he's just avoiding him. He calls for the Mate.
It was a win-win situation for the Georgian, wasn't it? It was either the Mate or the throw, because the throw was just on the zero.
It was
just on that zero. So
and that would have been. I think that would have been enough. If he hadn't called the Mate, I think they would have given it for the throw. He caught him just at the right time, because there was still a second left. So he attacks him.
It looked like he landed on the zero, but if it would have been into golden score. Very interesting match, very complicated as well. For the naked eye, that would have been a very difficult one to read.
We're leaving you to enjoy Alexander Vakhaviak of Belarus and Yeleman Yagaliev of Kazakhstan, because we're just looking at the end of the Okrashvili Mikhailin contest, trying to bring you up to date with what happened with the penalty. Okay, they initially gave it to Mikhailin. They then decided that we can't do that because you called a Mate. And so it was they said Wazari for, I can't hear. What's he saying?
They said, he wants to give Mikhailin the Wazari, wasn't it? But then they changed it.
No, for me, can't be. He gave a passivity penalty.
Yes.
We saw that at 11 seconds he attacked. Now, avoiding, give the penalty for avoiding. Not for passivity. That one's gotten away. Yes, he should have been penalised. We've got the right result.
Yes, yeah.
Because not only did Okrashvili throw him in the end, but Mikhailin was on his bike running away. He should have been penalised for that. He did get penalised, and Okrashvili ended up taking the contest. He threw him as well. Mikhailin also threw him. It's a tricky little situation. Good one. Right. Okay. What's happening with Vakhaviak and Yagaliev? It's Vakhaviak in the white judogi, Yagaliev in blue. Yagaliev leads by Wazari with a little less than a minute to go. And I hope everyone at home has enjoyed that little bit of action there. Right. Let's get back up to date with what's happening. See if we tidy up The sheets then, yeah? David Mura will face the Georgian Guga Kibor Zalidze. And it'll be Okarashvili to face the winner of this one.
Yes.
Not quite sure yet who that's going to be. Vachaviach trailing at the moment with 20 odd seconds left to go.
Vachaviach back on the mat now. Real blatant drop there from the Kazakhstan. He leads with 1 Wazari and 9 seconds to go. Picks up his first Shido.
Nah.
Well, a real pointless exercise that was, but really what could you do in a few under 5 seconds?
So Yelaman Yegeliev of Kazakhstan goes through to the quarter-final. It's not a big field today, so 1 round, quarter-final, semi-final and final. Yegeliev will face Okarashvili in the second of the quarter-finals. We've got our first look at the under 78 kilo category coming up next. It's Gunel Hassanli of Azerbaijan to face Alexandra Babintseva of Russia. Hassanli in the white judogi, Babintseva in blue. We'll follow this with a plus 78 kilo category contest. Pelageya Lapshina of Russia will face Elena Kibadze of Georgia, and then it'll be the number 1 seed in the under 90 kilo category, Max Stewart, to face Gogalashvili of Georgia.
Oh, lovely attack there. Babintseva looking out for the Sangaku turn. Well, not so much the Sangaku, but just across from the top of the head. Nice bit of Niwaza there, following through into the Osakomi. Looks very well controlled. You can see that knee very high up towards the head, so restricting the head movement. And the other arm over the other side, just keeping her weight placed very comfortably on top of her opponent's chest. So that was an excellent start for Babintseva of Russia. And she'll later on meet Malonga of the number 1 seed from France. And now we have Lapshina of Russia in the white, Kibadze of Georgia in the blue. This is the plus 78 kilograms for women.
It's our first look at the plus 78, isn't it?
Plus, yeah.
Pelageya Lapshina of Russia faces Elena Kibadze of Georgia. Lapshina in the white judogi, Kibadze in blue. Might be interesting.
Lapshina of from Russia is the lightest in this weight category. Actually, the lightest by about 11 kilos. Uchimata there. Let's see. Trying to work it into the Makikomi, but holding on to the arm quite tightly.
Alexander Mikhalin, to go back to Alexander Mikhalin, he has a very unfortunate contest record in the last 6.
Oh, lovely throw there.
That's brought the Georgian crowd alive. They like that.
Seems to have just been pinning with one arm.
Why not? She's in control here. She's on her back, so why not?
Well, this is where the disadvantage of being at least 20 kilos lighter than her opponent.
Yeah, I'll just finish off quickly on Mikhalin as Lapshina loses out to Kibadze. She goes into the quarterfinal. She faces Svetlana Yeromka of Ukraine. That's going to be a tough,
very tough match.
Tough fight. Number one seed. Right, coming up next, Max Stewart of Great Britain is on mat number 1. He faces Gogolashvili of Georgia. It's Stewart in the white judogi, Gogolashvili in blue. And those last 6 contests that Mikhalin has had have resulted in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 shidos. A 2-hand sokumake is included in there.
It's got to put those sort of question marks in your head, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Here we have Max Stewart in the white gi from Great Britain, number 1 seed here at this tournament, ranked 19th in the world ranking list.
Sorry to bring that up, Alexander. Couldn't resist it though. Right. Not a bad start for Stewart. You'd expect that as the number 1 seed to have a bye in the first round and then a not too difficult.
He's not one of the strongest Georgians. He's a young athlete coming through.
Yeah, not too difficult second round opponent. So that's after that, you know, you have to take what you get. Achille Gogolashvili. It's going to get a little bit more difficult after that. Ahmed Rashidi, I think, is likely to be his next opponent in the quarter-final. Mind you, he's got to get past Peter Zilka first, and then in the second pool, Pool B. Could be Max's day. He's got to knock them all over first, however.
Well, this is someone that just seems to be growing from one tournament to the next. He's oozing more and more with confidence, and the experience is doing him some real benefits from fighting at a level of tournaments as we have here today. It's not too strong. It's that confidence boost to getting close to the medals or a medal is what Stewart is needing now. He's been off for some time with an injury, but he's come back extremely strong. Had a great performance in the beginning of the year in Paris. Picked up 5th place in the Paris Grand Slam. Following the footsteps of his father, Dennis Stewart, an Olympic bronze medalist for I think it was under hundreds, was it?
Under 9, I think it was 95 at that time, wasn't it? 95, yeah.
Gogolaşvili is struggling a little bit here with the grips. Hasn't really been able to establish the style that he wants in this contest. Max there with a lovely drop, Sianagi. Oh, and a lovely Oso Tagari there. Stewart following through, looking for the Niwaza, the leg hooked behind the arm for the Sangaku turn. See the feet hooked in between the thighs there as he tries to rotate his opponent over and does very successfully.
Top half's nice, done.
Top half is supported and he's got his feet just on the outside so that his legs don't get caught up. Very effective way of holding with that, but
just the left leg fell in.
But it's only the actual ankle that he has to try and get out. It slips through now that he's turned. Now he's opting for the arm lock. Again, it's going to be difficult with that leg caught up. And Gogolaşvili is looking up at the clock. He doesn't look uncomfortable or threatened at all. So obviously wasn't effective enough. 20 seconds to go. Stewart with one Wazari. Opts in for a drop Sianagi, taking his opponent down to the ground. Once more looking for that turnover, but the Shimiwaza, you see he's just got that lapel, but whether he can slip it under the chin. He rotates his opponent back.
The Shimiwaza was going on anyway.
So that was a nice win for Stewart of Great Britain, who goes through to the next round.
Not only did he end up throwing Gogolaşvili, he outfoxed is not the word I'm looking for, but he was far too clever a fighter for Gogolaşvili to deal with. Everything that Gogolaşvili threw at him, Max handled well. He also presented a few things to Gogolaşvili that the Georgian couldn't deal with.
Yes.
You know, Max handled everything that Gogolaşvili had to give out, but Gogolaşvili couldn't deal with some of the aspects of the tactics of Max Stewart, which were really clever, especially when it came to using up the clock on the ground.
And technically, he was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
He had much more awareness. His grips were strong, his techniques were stronger and more precise. And when it came to the Niwaza, he was all over him.
And he ended up not frustrating him, but he was nonplussed. He was like, what should I do now?
He wasn't sure where his strengths were going to lie in that contest. He had too many battles to face within that round.
Now we're going to find out who it is that Stewart will face in the first of the quarterfinals, because coming up next is Hamed Rashidi of Iran. He faces Peter Zilka of Slovakia. It's Rashidi in the white judogi, Zilka in blue. This is Stewart's next opponent.
Zilka defeated the Azerbaijan Rasula in the first round. Rashidi had a bye, so this is his first round. So it'll be a little bit cold out here in this match. Take him a little bit of time to warm up. Looking very defensive there as he draws the weight down on Zilka's left side. Rashidi there taking that lapel grip. Right hand on the lapel. Now takes his opponent's right sleeve once more, dropping that weight down onto that right side. Comes over the top, drawing his chin over the arm. A little bit defensive down there. As you can see, the back legs behind him, weight forward. A very defensive posture there. Referee will pull him up over that if he continues to stay in that position. Shido apiece. Again, Rashidi taking his opponent's right sleeve, drawing that down again. Trying to, what looks to be like an Ashiwaza, but it's just to try and keep the referee happy, but it isn't going to work because Shido should be awarded to both of them. Once again, they're into the repeat situation of grips, but this time Silka can come through with the Uchimata into the Makikomi.
There's an unnecessary urgency about Rashidi. I'm not sure why he's got that feel about him. Zilka is the one who, for me, is in more difficulty. He's not the biggest of throwers.
Exactly, he's under pressure, especially with the grips. He's really out-gripped in this contest. But he isn't out-fought at this moment because Rashidi he's got the strong grip, he's controlling his opponent's right sleeve and is making his opponent look passive. But it was just a matter of time that the referee was going to see he hasn't actually even put an attack in, where at least Silka did. So now we're coming into the second round of Pool B, the under 90 kilos. Assis of Brazil in the white gi. Zabarov of the Uzbekistan in the blue. Well, this is the Brazilians' first match out. Zabarov defeated in the first round the Estonian Kusik. So the Uzbekistan has the real sort of advantage in a way of having a feel of the arena in that first round out of the way, and that sort of feel how his day's going to go. But for the Brazilian, it's this first match, and it's always the crucial one. It's like your warm-up, and mentally and physically, with a lot of pressure, and it's taken him a little while to just warm up into this contest. Picks up his first Shido, Kosotogari there from Sabarov. You can see Sabarov with that left hand high collar grip, draws the weight onto his opponent's left sleeve. As you can see, he's controlling that quite nicely. putting the Brazilian under a little bit of pressure, as you can see, dropping to his knees there. Desperate attempt with that Ouchigari. Totally missing the leg. Kosota again there from Zabarov. Once more controlling his opponent's left sleeve, and now looking if he was venturing down into the knee waza, but obviously changed his mind. Well, a real clash of heads here as the Kosota following right through nicely, kept the direction, driving through his opponent's chest, scoring that Wazari, and that's a nice comfortable lead with 1 minute and 43 seconds left in this contest. Zabarov looking the stronger of the two out here now at this moment. As he's looking very frustrated. Can't really... oh, lovely Kosota back there. Fantastic finish. Just caught him as he tried to break through with that grip. The Brazilian left himself off guarded there on the back leg. And Zabarov capitalized on that by hooking in so deep. Lovely finish there. Oh, well, there's no... You can't falter that one. Oh.
I had the feeling that he walked onto it, really, but...
Well, what happened, the Brazilian was so bothered about the grip that when he did break it, he put all his weight onto that back leg. And that was it, all over and done with. Uzbekistan came through, hooked in, and the other arm just clocked him right across the head.
Now, Matias is on the mat. Matias Kusik of Estonia faces Stanislav Rutinsky. We saw Rutinsky in his opening contest, didn't we?
Yes.
When he defeated we did. It was the Georgian Nika Sidamonidze, and it was Rutinsky who went through. Now it's Kusik. So the winner of this will face Sabirov in the second of the quarterfinals. I thought Rutinsky was a reasonable little fighter in that first contest. He didn't look like the Russian number 9 to me. Pacek and Oltiboyev next, Taveluri and Kotsoyev after that, Korea and Nemzadze, and then we'll get to see Minashkin and Borodavko. What a thing, eh? The Estonian and the Latvian, we were talking about, the neighbours, and unfortunately they've got to go head to head. I wonder how many times Minashkin has fought Borodavko. I'll have a look at that as well.
Well, Kusik there just picking up the first Shido. Rutinsky. The drop Sianagi there wasn't convincing enough, I don't think, and will pick up a Shido for that.
This will be the third time that Minashkin and Borodavko are going to go head to head.
And a lovely Taitoshi there. Sorry, that was
That's all right.
Superb. Looking very strong, the Russian out here. Picks up that Wazari, the lead with 1:53 left in this contest. Rutinsky there with the right high collar grip, very strong, controlling his opponent's left sleeve quite nicely. Nice upright fighter. Well, we felt that that attack was enough to award him the Ippon rather than the Wazari.
He's been a busy boy, Rutinsky, because he's just thrown for Ippon there. Kusik for Ippon. He threw 3 times in his opening contest, so he's already got 3 Wazaris and an Ippon and from 2 contests. Right, who have we got coming up next then? Martin Pacek of Sweden faces Bekmurud Oltiboyev of Uzbekistan. It's Pacek in the white judogi, Oltiboyev in blue. It's the first time that we're getting a look at Martin Pacek, the number 1 seed in the under 100 kilo category. Pacek with a trademark little makikomi there. Coming up with a Wazari. Oltiboyev picked up Shiro for passivity. Most of the cheering that you can hear is coming from the adjoining mat where Onise Sanablidze of Georgia is up against Soyib Kurbonov of Uzbekistan. You can click on 2 if you want to see that one. Minute and a half left to go. Pacek leads by Wazari still. Yeah, that's a good effort from Oltiboyev. Couldn't quite finish off, managed to get underneath Pacek and threaten him with that Morote Seonage, but No score.
Pacek looking for the Niwaza.
He's close to being called for a false attack here.
Yes, well, that's a couple of times, yeah. And it did look so obvious with the false attack. Picks up a Shido for that. Still leading with a Wazari and 1 minute left in this contest.
Well, Pacek's sole aim there is to engage Oltiboyev in Nevaza. Yes, just misses out. There's no top half. And the Koji Gake almost brought Pacek down there. Good deep entry, hooked in nice, but he didn't have the top half.
Very strong on the grips there. Pacek is that right hand coming high over onto the back, hooks in, controlling his opponent's left sleeve.
He won't let Oltiboyev out of the area as well. You want to keep him there, keep the clock running. Uzbek was on his way up. He thought that attack had finished. He was on his way out and up so they could start again, but Pacek pulled him in, engaged him in Nivas, and maybe had another 3 or 4 seconds that he burned.
Drops Sianagi, just seems to be picking him off here now with the seconds sort of ticking away. Oltiboyev there really didn't have a look in this contest. Struggled all the way through, outgripped and outfought throughout 4 minutes.
Yeah, just a little bit too clever for Oltiboyev. Pacek, a seasoned campaigner now. Wasn't his favourite start to any day though, that one. Pushed him all the way. Right, up next, Lasha Taveluri of Georgia. He faces Zelim Kotsoyev of Azerbaijan. It's Taveluri in the white judogi, Kotsoyev in blue.
Kotsoyev, better track record on wins. And this is a very feisty start of the contest. Taveluri looking for that Niwaza. Kotsoyev there throwing that right hand high onto the collar. Even his side very weak though. You can see blocking with that left hand. The referee will.
That Wazari was for the throw earlier on. They hadn't given it, but they have now.
Flurry of attacks there from Kotsoyev. Cavallari there taking left hand on his opponent's lapel, but trying to throw that right hand over the top, but Kotsiev taking that sleeve, keeping it down, follows through. Cavallari looks for the arm lock. Doesn't look to be a very strong angle there to apply the arm lock. Kotsiev put in an attack there, didn't have any grips, and very scrappy, falling onto his face. Slightly under pressure there with the grips of the Georgian. Oh, a lovely Osota, just clipping the ankles there, just didn't have enough drive off the side there.
A little over 2 minutes left to go. Still the Wazari lead.
Kotsiev again over the top, hooking in for the Uchimata. And you see the Osotogari this time is leaving himself a little bit off balance. Kotsiev has got to pick up another Shido from that. Defending quite badly, keeping that hip at bay. But desperate attack from the Georgian was anticipated there by Kotsiev. A lovely counter.
So there was still a minute and a half left on the clock. He was Wazari down. Kotsiev had 2 penalties on the board with a minute and a half left to go. What's your tactic?
With a minute and a half, you still have to keep fighting.
Keep going. Keep
fighting.
Keep Kotsiev on the mat for as long as possible. He's going to make another mistake.
Yep.
Don't get desperate and try something, which he does. Leaves himself exposed, and then over he goes. You know, it was a minute 45 left on the clock. Kotsiev was bent over. You just pointed that out. He was looking defensive. You know, he was struggling there. And there was still a minute and a half to go when Cavallari launched that desperate attack.
He didn't need to do that. He just needed to really highlight the fact that Kotsiev was being so negative, because one more would result in the hand sokomaki.
And you had plenty of time to give it to him.
So tactically, he definitely wasn't aware in that contest. Lack of experience, I suppose.
Luciano Correa of Brazil faces Yasuni Nemadze of Georgia. Correa in the white judogi, Nemadze in blue.
Correa taking the first grip, trying to get that second hand on the high collar. He's just managed that. You can see he's controlling his opponent's right sleeve quite nicely. Controlling the grips, looking very strong. Dominating with the grip. Just needs to put him forward with an attack off what was a very controlling grip. and piling the pressure on his opponent. Korea again controlling his opponent's right sleeve first, throwing that right hand over the top and hooking him with the Ouchigari, scoring a Wazari. Oh, lovely Koshiguruma. Wazari. Taking this up to an even situation now, and the pressure back on into the Brazilian.
This is just the balance that you like, isn't it, Loretta? 1-1, minute and a half left to go.
Made it quite exciting. At one stage, the Brazilian looked like he just had this contest in the bag and he was just coasting through. But the Georgian composed himself and just bided his time. And when he got rid of that, as you can see, where the Brazilian takes the sleeve, controls the Georgian sleeve, but when he gets free from that grip, he becomes very dangerous.
Tavaluri just on the way out pointed at his head, said he wasn't thinking. Said, Loretta and I agree with you. It's a minute 45, what were you thinking about? He said, I wasn't thinking.
Left his thoughts on the pillow.
Yeah. Ooh. Little look at Ashiwaza there from Nemzadze, falling backwards. He never had the power, and then Korea couldn't take advantage of that. 50 odd seconds left to go.
A lot make a mistake. We've seen that quite a few times with Sasasu Tokobayashi. They attempt that foot sweep and just lose balance. They haven't really controlled the upper body. They've got a situation that's two shidos, another one would result in the hand sokomaki. Georgian now really has to think very carefully. It's that grip that caused him a lot of problems in the first minute, and the score in the early part of this contest. But
yeah, you see now Korea,
that was a right call.
Absolutely,
he was just trying to drag his opponent down. He had no intentions of throwing.
Absolutely,
and it backfired on him.
He tried to mug the referee there.
Definitely, and he ended up mugging himself.
Getting mugged. I'm so glad that you see that once in a while.
That was the thing. We've not actually seen that penalty going out very often, do we? But that was just so blatant that all he was trying to do was to win on the passivities. One more would have resulted in the hand sokomaki, and the referee thought, enough.
No, I'm not having it.
No, we're not having that one.
You're going to get the penalty instead.
So we're at golden score.
0 complaints from the Brazilian coach, by the way.
Yeah. And before the new rules came in, you could have got away with that.
I think Korea's going to get another one, you know.
I think so too. His grips have been good, but they've been the disadvantage for him because he's relied so heavily on those grips.
He's tried to mug Frank Birch for a second time. But this time they've decided that it was
stepping out.
Nemzadze who thought, hey, I've already caught him once, maybe I'll catch him again, and pretend that, you know, it's backfired on him now. The key here is don't play games.
Exactly.
You-
Don't play. Just fight. Just fight.
Correa came unstuck because he played games. Nemzadze came unstuck because he thought, hey, I've seen which way it's going.
Misread the referee.
It misread the referee. Thought
Definitely misread
I can
the
use it.
referee.
I can use him now. No,
Yes.
you can't. And here's the thing: don't play games. Simple. Don't play games. Just do judo, and there won't be any shidos.
And win it, not
Yeah.
not steal it. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to steal the win.
Serves them both right. Right. Grigory Menashkin of Estonia faces Yevgenis Borodavko of Latvia. It's Menashkin in the white judogi, Borodavko in blue. Baltic Championships here. Very good
What a
morning.
difference in height.
Yeah, he's a tall fella, isn't he?
Goodness. He's a big lad.
A very good morning to Susan Howell in sunny Chislehurst. She says she's just showing off, isn't she?
Sunny. Well, it's freezing here.
Yeah, you've got the chill factor in Tbilisi.
Well, good morning, Susan.
She's just showing off because she knows I used to live there and she knows I miss it. When it's sunny, I mean.
Only when it's sunny.
Yeah. Well, Menashkin gives the impression that he's been around for a long time. We saw him as a junior. He was a really super junior, and he's just started to show signs of being settled. Now, there's a period of uncertainty about his judo. He's just beginning to look a little bit better now. Borodavko has been around for a long time as well. Susan Howe said it's always easier to get work done with us on in the background.
Well, that's nice to know,
I'm
isn't
not
it?
sure how we're going to take that.
Just get those dishes done, dear.
We're just in the background for her, as far as she's concerned. We're not the main event. We're just in the background, Loretta. An add-on for her weekend, whatever it is.
Radio too.
Absolutely, yeah. Both fighters have picked up a penalty apiece, but we've got plenty of time for this one to get going.
Borodavko there looking very strong. But I'm still sort of bewildered how he's under 100s. He looks enormous. Oh,
yes.
Whoa! Well, that was lovely. Definitely textbook style. Oh.
Well, you don't see Menashkin going over for Ippon that often.
No, well, he took a flying lesson there.
He really did.
Oh, that was a lovely technique. You didn't even actually see that one coming. You had the high collar grip. He just was moving around quite comfortably as if he was strolling around the park, and then all of a sudden
No.
he's whizzed that leg right through. Oh, well, we can't say much about that other than fantastic.
It's all leg, isn't it?
Oh, well, look at the size of
Yeah.
him. He's enormous for under 100s.
Right then, so Borodavko it is who goes into the next round. Who have we got here? It's the plus 100 kilo category. These are even bigger than the last pair. David Moura of Brazil. I keep referring to some of the fighters as one of the nicest fighters on the circuit, but that really does apply to David Moura. It's David Moura of Brazil in the white judogi to face Guga Kibordzladze of Georgia. Moura in the white judogi, Kibordzladze in blue.
Well, yesterday morning I was in the lift with Moura, and honestly I just...
He's a giant, isn't he?
I was terrified the lift wasn't going to move. He's such a big guy.
Well,
Disposes of his opponent there.
and into the Osai Komi as well. Keyboard Zalidze not really getting into that one. And David Mura isn't as large as Rafael Silva. Rafael Silva's even bigger.
Really? Well, he was enormous.
Huge
it was
man.
Quite scary. I was looking at the man. I was getting a creak in my neck just looking up at him. I suppose I look up at everybody at this time.
He's a gentle giant, though. He was at dinner last night, just a few tables away from us, and he's really pleasant, you know, smiley and affable and everything. And I think sometimes you want a bit, you want an injection of grit in there. It would be the one thing that would, you know,
Do you not find
finish
that
him off.
You find that a lot with the heavyweights, and I think
Nice
this is when
guys.
their upbringing, because they're obviously big children when they're grown up, and you're always worried that they're going to crush the little kids
Yeah,
because they're such big. And then when they grow into larger athletes, there's that real softness and that upbringing that's been installed in them right up to adulthood.
Well, the hero for the Georgians today will undoubtedly be Adam Okrashvili, if he can take the gold medal here, not least of all because he disposed in the first round of Alexander Mikhalin of Russia.
It was a really tough match,
Yeah.
and very close fought match as well.
So Okrashvili is on the mat again. He's up against Yelaman Yegaliev of Kazakhstan. Okrashvili in the white judogi, Yegaliev in blue. And on mat 2, Stanislav Bondarenko of Ukraine is up against Anton Brachev of Russia. If you want to watch that one, just click on 2. I don't think Susan Howell's going to be clicking anywhere. She's going to be staying with us, isn't she?
That's nice to know. Okrashvili there, as you can see, is just closing his opponent in, drawing him down up to his height. Put that left hand under there, where he now swaps it over the arm to block. Bends in the elbow to draw his opponent towards him. He drops Sianagi though.
Okrashvili now picks up a penalty for passivity.
Well, as expected, it's a slow start for both these athletes. Both trying to size each other up. Trying to get the preferred grip. Okrashvili there takes that left hand onto the lapel, over the top of the arm, so it counts as a bit of a block, as well as the controlling grip. Both opting for the one hand on at the moment. Sianagi from Kazakhstan.
Not a bad little effort.
A little
But
bit
he's
more
got him
convincing,
now.
but
Well, you won't see that in the book of 100 best turnovers.
no, definitely not.
A turnover it was, but technically the only thing that was about was sheer brute force. Once he'd blocked the effort, it was just roll him over. Hey, successful.
Exactly. It's working for him.
Can't
and,
knock it.
Looks effortless.
Adam Okrashvili then into the semi-final.
And he'll be up against Mura.
David Mura, good one.
That would be an interesting match.
Nice head-to-head shaping up there. David Mura will go head-to-head with Adam Okrashvili. Okay, we've got the under 78 kilo category. Quarterfinal coming up now between the number 1 seed, Jadabai, in round 1. That put her straight into the quarterfinal. Madeleine Malonga of France. She faces Alexandra Babintseva of Russia. It's Malonga in the white judogi, Babintseva in blue.
Well, Malonga, second in Baku, 7th place in Paris, and in Tbilisi last year took a 5th place, so she'll be wanting to get into, as the number 1 seed this time, be hoping to get into that final.
Oh, problems here
with Uchimata. Whoa, what a lovely finish.
It's all over, Babintseva.
Well,
it's all over, yeah.
She better hope it is.
It's all over, yeah.
Well, she
it's limping.
A little bit of an injury.
Cramp, maybe?
She was very confident with that Uchimata because she went over, got herself held down, and she tapped up.
Yeah.
What about if they changed it to a Wazari? She was really... But she's limping off there.
Yeah.
That doesn't look too clever.
Yeah, I wonder, cramp, you have to stop and work things out. That's not looking too good as she limps out of the arena. Stretching a little bit now.
Well, now we have Turchin.
Yeah, you spoke about Anastasia Turchin this morning, the Ukrainian.
Number 3 seed here, under 23 European champion last year.
She faces Assunta Gaglioni of Italy. Turchin in the white judogi, Gaglioni in blue.
It's a team we haven't seen much is the Italians. Swung them through this world circuit.
Only Edwige Gwend.
Yeah.
That was it, really.
In the previous competitions, they haven't...
Yeah, not a lot.
Haven't come forward, have they? Kosota there, nice attack. Leone there looking very strong. A great positive start for the Italian. Chechen there, as you can see, with that left hand high collar grip, very strong grip. Taking a little bit too long to use it though. Kosota, there's a counter from the Ouchi hook.
There's an all-Georgia matchup on mat number 2 in the plus 100 kilo category. Levani Matiashvili faces Onisa Bukhadze in the plus 100 kilo category. No score here as Gaglioni attacks Turchin on the ground, but
she started very strong down there in the Niwaza, but it just all went horribly wrong for her.
Yeah. I think Turchin has got a good defense on the ground. Gaglioni may find it a little bit tricky to break her down.
Very, very strong, upright athlete. Left-handed as well. If that arm comes over, quite strong. Hooks in with the Ouchi Uchimata, but there was the Kosota there. Koichi hooked inside. Nice combination of techniques that she puts in. Coach, Turchin's coach, advising her to take that left hand high collar, drawing the head down. She opts for the lapel this time, but now you can see it slips right through, a little bit deeper, but loses confidence in that grip. As Gaglioni tries to counter. And Gallioni advances onto her opponent, trying to get the first grip. Turchin looking in the Uchimata combination again.
She hasn't been determined one way or the other, either with the Uchimata or the Ouchigari. That's been the difficulty. It's like caught between the two. Which one should I go for? And by that time, it's too late. Gallioni's already blocking it.
Then Turchin's looking for the right reaction as she hooks in with that Ouchigari. She's trying to get her opponent to react by coming onto the Uchimata, but instead of doing that, she tends to just stay quite solid in her feet and upright. She's not falling into that trap.
He's picked up a penalty.
So 15 seconds left in this contest. There was a danger there as Turchin changed the grip. There was an opportunity for Gallioni.
We're going to have golden score.
Gallioni looking quite strong out there, very fit. Good pace throughout this contest. Comes round the back of the Ukraine. Again advancing forward. Body language of the Italian looks like she's wanting to engage all the time and be first. She steps across, again piling the pressure. And sending out the right message to the referee. Turchin needs to put an attack in now. Hooks across. Ouchi tries to step across for the Harai, but loses control, falling onto her face there. But it was the attack that she needed anyway. Gallioni then once more driving forward, trying to get a grip. Turchin blocking and hooking in there, as you can see. Oh, very dangerous situation there. Just lost a little bit of direction.
Little Ouchigari, overbalanced. Turchin had enough of an attack in there to claim that she put her on her back, and the referee has given a score.
Sadly for Gallioni, she just did that little bit too much. She was trying to obviously look positive, be the one that was first, but she just was putting in half-hearted attacks, and it cost her the match.
Well, we saw Madeline Malonga throwing Babin-Seva for Ippon to go into the first of the semi-finals. She'll face Anastasia Turchin of Ukraine, and it'll be Gallioni who goes into the repechage. Right, coming up next, it is Svetlana Yeromka of Ukraine. She faces Elena Kabadze of Georgia. It's Yeromka in the white judogi, Kabadze in blue. Now, in the event that Madeleine Malonga is injured and she can't take that semi-final place, the French are not entirely out of it, because they've got another competitor in the under 78 kilo category, and she's about
number 2 seed.
She's about to come onto the mat now. Hawa Sama Kamara in her quarterfinal. She faces Yahima Ramirez. So let's go to mat number 2 to have a look for the first time at Samahawa Kamara of France. She's up against Yahima Ramirez. We've just seen the finish of Matiashvili and Bukhadze there. That was Bukhadze catching Matiashvili. That was Levani Matiashvili throwing Furuchi Mata first and then finishing off with that Yoko Sutemi Waza.
Lovely finish there.
Yeah, Matiashvili it is who won out. I thought it was Bukadze, but it was Matiashvili. Right, we're underway with the quarterfinal between Kamara and Ramirez. Here's something that Kamara's going to have to work out. This is a vastly experienced competitor that she's up against in Yahima Ramirez of Portugal. The thing about Ramirez is if Kamara really knows what she's about, is the negativity that you get from the Portuguese, and that's not an opinion, it's a fact. You can see it from her competition record.
Well, both ladies picking up a Shido apiece.
The red indicates where a fight has been given hand sokumake for penalties. And that's your record for...
That's a few, isn't it?
She even beats Mikalin as far as penalties are concerned. This is the penalty queen.
Mikalin the penalty king.
Yeah, and Brahima Ramirez the penalty queen. Very well put, Loretta. I'll say that you said that.
No, she's too big for me to argue with.
Right-sided effort from Kamara doesn't come off, and you can see that 2:20 odd left on the clock. 4 Shidos, and this is what I was saying. The French should have done their homework here and told Kamara, don't get dragged into that game. This is not going to be an attractive contest. Don't get dragged in there.
There's a lovely Ochigari there from
Ramirez.
She's looking very busy. She's got that strong right hand grip that comes over. Taking Kamara a little bit by surprise. She's panicking a little bit. She's just firing anything just to look busy to counteract what Ramirez is doing.
Because of the penalties on the clock, yeah.
And the thing is, they've both put themselves in that situation that they can't set up anything. It has to be all or nothing now. So 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this contest, and
I'll tell you what.
It's looking actually quite scrappy. It's all arms and very little.
The only reason I came down here, I wanted to see if Kamara could work that out. Got herself in a lot of trouble here by getting involved in the kind of contest that absolutely suits Ramirez.
Oh
yeah, there's the class.
That was a beautiful combination there, and straight into Osakumi. No hanging about. Wasn't going to see if it was a pon or not.
Georgians have got a new hero in Elena Kebadze as she disposes of the #1 seed Svetlana Yaromka. What a thing that is. Into the first of the semi-finals. There's a real chance here. The problem, of course, is the Belarusian and Lithuanian have still got to go head-to-head. One of those is that's coming up next.
Strong athlete.
She's going to have to really, really pull something out of the bag, even to come up with a medal here, because she's got to defeat Slutskaya or Jablonskita. That's going to be a tough ask. They are on mat number 1 now, but Kamara has come out the winner here on mat 2. We can go back down to mat number 1 now, because we were there for most of the time. Let's go back and see who it is that the Georgian is going to have to face in the plus 78 kilo category. Marina Slutskaya of Belarus in the white judogi, Sandra Jablonskita of Lithuania in blue. One of these will go head-to-head with Elena Kibadze of Georgia in the first of the semi-finals. Kibadze having disposed of the number 1 seed. As I say, this is a real plus for the Georgians, because if she can score some points here, she may get some protection. She may squeeze her way into the top 8 in the European Championships, simply because the number of plus 78 kilo category fighters in the top 10 in the world ranking list is quite heavily weighted to the non-Europeans. You've got a Cuban, you've got a Chinese, Japanese, a Korean, and a Tunisian, all in the top 10. So half of the world's top 10,
close as well.
they'll all be out in that. If they won't be in there in the ranking list draw for the European Championships. So it pushes everyone up and gives Kibadze a better chance if she can come out of this with gold. She needs a gold medal to give her a chance to go up that world ranking list, because at 11 Marcesa, at 11 Asahina Sara, so they're out of it. Okay, Pakanita and Kinzeska, they'll be in, but then Altman, she's out of it. Tachimoto Megumi, she's out. Inamorinami, she's out. So as you go down, it's got to be 8 who are higher placed than Kibadze. Where's she at the moment as far as points are concerned? I've never seen her before. The Georgian heavyweight. Let's have a look and see what point she's on. 0 chance.
Yeah, she's got
1 point.
1 point.
So it's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. She win this, she wouldn't be.
But
she'll
what
get no
she
protection.
will gain is a lot of confidence from winning it.
Yeah.
And having that or no confidence at all is the ingredients that they need to get some sort of success. And as we know with the heavyweights, it can be a hit and miss sometimes. Let's see, she's fought extremely well here today, and
well, she's
home turf as well.
She's defeated Ieromka, and Ieromka's in that top 10, isn't she? Well, just outside. Where is Ieromka? Number 9.
And how old is
So
Kibadze?
she's defeated Ieromka, who's in the top 10. It means that it gives you some indication that she's got something about her. Who did you defeat in the first round? Lapshina. Okay, here's a newcomer from Russia. Then Ieromka. Let's see what happens with Slutskaya, because it's going to be Marina Slutskaya in the semi-final with Elena Kibadze. And when Elena Kibadze takes to the mat for that semi-final, it'll be the biggest chair that a Georgian woman has ever had in this arena for judo.
It's a homebred Georgian, isn't it?
Yeah,
they've had a bit of success, but we had Esther Stom, that was obviously from the Netherlands and competed at the Olympic Games.
They'll be going wild.
The Georgian, but...
Right, Max Stewart of Great Britain faces Peter Zilka of Slovakia. It's Stewart in the white judogi, Zilka in blue, and here's Loretta Cusack-Doyle.
So this is the second match for Stewart. Had a bye in the first round. Second round, Gogolashvili defeated quite comfortably. Zilka fought Rasula of Azerbaijan, and then went on to defeat Rashidi of Iran. Stewart, number 1 seed, 5th place in Paris. One of the biggest hopes for British judo in the men's. Zilka now looking for some opportunity down in Newaza. In the chair for Stewart is his father and coach, Dennis Stewart, Olympic bronze medalist. So he'll be starting to follow in the footsteps of his father. Couldn't ask for any better as having a role model like Dennis Stewart. Been there, done it, and got the t-shirt for it, so knows exactly how his son's feeling right now. Zilka picking up the first Shido. 2.5 minutes left in this contest. Zilka trying to control the right sleeve of Stewart. Comes through and catches that lapel. Extreme position there as he Kochi Gary into the gap there for Stewart as he now looks for the Sangaku turn. Just to tie up those legs a little bit tighter. So under halfway now in this contest. A place in the semi-final. Zilka representing Slovak in the blue gi. Stewart representing Great Britain in white. Second Shido now and awarded to Zilka. Puts him under slight bit of pressure now, as we know one more would result in the Hansokumaki. Stewart really can't just, as he drops there, left himself a little bit vulnerable. And a bit of an attack there under pressure as Zilka approached quite fast onto Stewart. Zilka with that cross grip now, trying to come round the back. On Stewart's right side, he's controlling Stewart's left sleeve there, as you can see. Well, Zilka really struggling against Stewart. Really just couldn't overcome the powerful grips of this young man from Great Britain. Tactically played a very good match here, constantly piling the pressure on Zilka, who became so frustrated that accumulated 3 Shidos to a Hansokumaki. So Stewart goes through to the semi-finals of this Grand Prix here in Tbilisi. And he'll be up against the winner of the next round, Sabarov, Uzbekistan, in the white, Retinsky representing Russia in the blue. Sabarov white, Rutinsky in the blue. Well, a little bit of a slower start than the previous match that we've just seen. Both in no hurry to engage. Rutinsky, we saw in the earlier fight, threw his opponent for a ippon with Uchimata. It's a very slow starter, but doesn't seem to rush too much. Is very upright, strong posture. It's a fantastic Uchimata that we've seen a couple of times in the previous match that was very effective, and I'm quite sure Sabarov will have watched that match and been quite concerned. We're both picking up a Shido now piece. Drop Sianagi there for the Russian. Changing his a little tactics there. We've seen that it does favour the Uchimata, and it's one of his strongest throws. Rutinsky there, just slowing up and just biding his time. Drop Sianagi once more, following through into the Niwaza. Again, very slow to react. But it looks like he's only got one gear here. He's a very slow pace, very precise. Not into wasting valuable energy on the small attacks. They all seem to be big movements that he makes from that Sianagi, trying to make every one count. There's a couple of really good attacks there, and Sabarov now has got to be very careful. Hasn't put in an attack for some time. Sabarov now, second Shido. As we know, the third one result in the hand Sokumaki. Rutinsky there, once more, slow into the approach. Little side skip there. Pulls on that lapel, looking for that opening into the Uchimata. And there we've got it, that's very close. Once more the right hand on the lapel, comes in for the drop Sianagi.
Oh, he's left his arm out.
Oh.
No, he just settles on the head.
And Sabarov is really trying to...
Lucky.
He was very, very lucky. That was the opportunity that he missed. I think that was his chance with... It's got 12 seconds, but the upper... All the Tachiwaza is with the Russian at this moment. He looks the stronger of the two.
Very, very quickly before we go into the golden score, Peter Zielke in the under 90 kilo category, 3 fights, 6 Shidos. Said this morning, boy's got a problem. Spoke to the coach, standing, a few meters away from us now, and he nodded. He said, "Yep, I keep telling him, don't get involved in that kind of battle." Max Stewart was the only one who was able to work it out, came out there without a single penalty. Stewart, everybody else has picked up penalties against him because he draws them into that kind of fight. Anyway, we're into the golden score period. Sabirov and Ratinsky. Loretta.
Thank you. Well, Ratinsky, this is the first time he's really been pushed in this tournament. Comes in with the drop
just on the other side, yeah. It was away from us, so it's tricky to see. She's in a better position than we are. They might give a replay, but look good enough.
Yes.
Low, left-sided.
He had two throws, and that was the Uchimata and the drop Sienagi that he used throughout this contest. Sabirov, I think, was very apprehensive about the Uchimata and played to avoid the Uchimata, which really wasn't his style, and it's cost him this match.
Right, coming up next, Martin Pacek of Sweden faces Zelim Kotsoyev of Azerbaijan. It's Pacek in the white judogi, Kotsoyev in blue. It's the first of the quarterfinals in the under 100 kilo category. Kotsoyev was trying the little makikomi there. That's Martin Pacek's technique. What's Kotsoyev trying to do? Obviously he hasn't fought Pacek before. Doesn't realise that's Pacek's technique. Ojigari brings him down for Wazari. That's a nice score there. Hooked in well, drove off the back leg. He had good contact with the upper body. Came up with a nice score. And another little look at the Makikomi there. Well, minute and a half, or a little over a minute and a half, minute 40 seconds left to go. Kotsev fell behind after that Ojigari, but then came up with the tying score. Makes things interesting now. There's another Ojigari effort from Pacek. He follows that up with a Tomoyanagi, but it's not a convincing effort. It's blocked by Kotseviev. And we've got a minute 27 seconds left to go. See, it's part Makikomi and then it's part avoidance. Want to get rid of that grip, let's just throw in that Makikomi, because he doesn't hang on to his opponent at all there. Pacek well known for his Sutemi-waza attacks. That one had Kotseviev up and in the air. 40 odd seconds left to go. Really big attack needed here by the Azeri. He wasn't going to catch him on the outside. This one looks as though it's heading towards golden score. Yeah, untidy looking Makikomi effort from Kotseviev. 5 seconds left to go. I think we will have golden score. Pacek's decided it's going to be golden score anyway. Well, both fighters will just get their gis tidied up before we get underway. Well, we've seen a few times where immediately after the restart, a golden score has resulted in a quick finish. Kotseviev may be in trouble here from Pacek as he tries to apply that Jujigatami, but not quite. Managed to hang on to his own arm, and Pacek couldn't apply pressure in the right direction. Here comes the Azeri again. Half a minute gone in golden score. Another Tomoyanagi effort and another chance to work on the arm. That goes missing, goes begging as well. But he can't afford to look passive here. Kotsouiev. Pacek has been busy in the golden score period, and he attacks again. I don't like the antics of Pacek asking the referee for a penalty for his opponent. But Kotsouiev, unfortunately, didn't come up with enough in the golden score period, and he's about to pick up a penalty. Pacek's pleadings with the referee have been answered now. Looking up at the referee, almost begging him to give Kotsouiev a Shido for passivity, which he does now. That ends the contest. And it'll be Pacek who we see in the first of the semi-finals. Okay. We've got the next of the quarterfinals in the under 100 kilo category. Luciano Correa of Brazil faces Yevgenis Borodavko of Latvia. It's Correa in the white judogi, Borodavko in blue. Luciano Correa's teammate Rafael Buzakarini is on mat 2. He's up against Ivan Remarenko of the United Arab Emirates. There is a little under a minute left in that one, and Buzakarini it is who leads by Wazari. Well, the winner of this then will face Martin Pacek. You can sit back and have a look and see who it is that he's got to deal with. He's already out of the arena. Quite often the fighters will hang around and have a look to see their next opponent. But
quite a few have been doing that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just unless they've been moved off very quickly now.
It's nice that I think, I've said quite often, I think there should be a place there.
Yes.
For the fighters to legitimately stand and watch. And when that contest is over, they move on. So there's only ever the fighter who wants to watch the upcoming contest there. That's okay when you've only got 2 mats.
I think it's quite interesting for spectators to see the reaction of the person that's going to
keep the stars, keep the stars in view for a little bit longer. As I say, if it's 2 mats, it's not that bad. But when you've got 5, I mean, you can imagine the log jam that there would be in Paris. Because what happens is the basket carriers normally stay with them. The coach normally hangs around. You've got 50 people down there. If you've got 2 mats going,
very messy.
So maybe a little bit untidy for floor management.
Borodavko here is doing extremely well, and this is already up at Wazari, and it's still 2.5 minutes left in the contest. But Correa, in his last match, it was pretty scrappy, wasn't it? It wasn't one of the most exciting matches to watch.
Well, it was one of those ones where both fighters were trying to con the referee.
Exactly, and it just it went in favour for Correa.
Yeah, he got called for the crushing one first, and then the Georgian thought, "Oh, I'm in here,
Do exactly
I'll just pretend that he's pushed me out." And they saw that one coming, and they said, "No." And the referee is the same referee, Frank Dirch.
So it is.
Correa gets a second look at
That's
Dirch.
where you're very professional. I'm just glued to the athletes, but I just dismissed the referee totally.
I noticed the minuscule, probably the unimportant, but they become like little talking points, don't they? Because he's seen him already. Think about it.
He's obviously got that in the back of his mind to say, right. And that's the problem that athletes have got to face. That at the end, they make a mistake or they try and teach a referee how to do his job. They never forget.
I'm not going to forget that.
And that's
human nature.
It's something an athlete should really try to avoid, is going on the wrong side of a referee. Not saying that they would take it.
To take the Martin Pacek thing, for example, we all know that he's got really good newaza. He loves to work on the ground. That's terrific. And the entry into his newaza normally comes from the Sotemi waza, the tomonagi or double-footed tomonagi or yoko Sotemi waza. So that's clear. We know that. But from time to time, when he's being threatened and things are going wrong and everything, he'll fall back on that tomonagi as a safety.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
There.
Borodavko's just shocked him there, hasn't he?
Well, Korea made the ultimate mistake by turning his back on his opponent and didn't actually see Borodavko come from behind and attack him. Very dangerous situation to be in.
Well, he's got to go for it now, Luciano.
Not sure whether he has the ability. He's desperately trying to get that arm over the top, and he's got it there now, but has he got... Well, there's a poor drop there.
He'll be penalised here.
Now, tactically, would that have been a good move for him?
Yeah.
Possibly, because
absolutely.
there's only
Just,
seconds left, and he was in a...
He's not going to go again.
Trouble there.
Yeah.
He's just got to be careful he doesn't do it again, because we saw last time 1 second and it was all over.
And just to finish off on the Pacek thing, but if the referee's aware that from time to time he uses the tomonagi as a ploy to avoid a grip and everything, then that'll be in his mind and he'll be watching for it. What you don't want is for that kind of thing to be uppermost in the minds of the officials.
No.
Take that away from them. Don't be labelled as this kind of player or that kind of player.
And that's exactly what it is. You get labelled with the sort of behaviours that the athletes have. And it's like they're waiting for that situation.
Yeah, you get less time.
But also the athletes can play on that as well. If they know that someone just loses his control and tends to fly off the handle a little bit too quick,
they'll invite that.
You can invite that and aggravate it so that it lures them into that sort of negative behavioural problem.
Right, we've got Guga Kibord Zalidze of Georgia up now in the repechage contest. He faces Yeleman Yegaliev of Kazakhstan. Kibord Zalidze of Georgia in the white judogi, Yegaliev of Kazakhstan in blue.
Right, this is going to be quite a challenging match in this repechage. Kibor Zalidze in the white. Representing Georgia, and the crowd will be behind this Georgian athlete, one step closer to a medal, a bronze medal. Yegaliev looking there with Uchimata, just didn't get the finish on that, lost that sleeve grip to get the rotation, sadly landing on his front. Shido apiece for both these athletes. Georgian there, you see, throwing that right hand high over. That's what he's wanting. Blocked by the Kazakhstan. As you can see, trying to keep that sleeve closely down rather than high up on his shoulder. Opting for the lapel, but as you can see, the Georgian drops over, but there's the Kosota. Just didn't come deep enough and fell over to the side. Zalize trying to desperately get that right hand high up onto the collar. Looking a little bit frustrated out there. Shido being awarded now to Vagaliev. It's now the Georgian coming over high over the back. Desperately trying to avoid the grip, and I think by trying to avoid it has cost him the match. Well, there's the third Shido Hansokumaki for Vagaliev, and the win goes to the Georgian Kibord Sadlied.
Semi-final time, Loretta. Whoa.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one.
David Mura and Adam Okrashvili. It's Mura in the white judogi, Okrashvili in blue. Two big nice guys, or two nice big guys, whichever way round you want to put it.
Mura straight in with the Tsutemiwaza. That just one pull then from Morab brings Okarashvili to his knees. The Shidos are going to be awarded, but just to one side this time. I'm surprised. I thought both would be given the Shido.
Looking for that Makikomi. He pulls his opponent onto him and then starts the leg part of it.
We saw it in the earlier match, didn't we? That it's quite effective. You think as he enters, it's not going to work, but the weight and the shape of him just draws him in and just rolls him over. And I'm sure the athletes, his opponents, just feel that it's most probably not going to work. But sadly, always on the receiving end of a score.
Oh, just lost the hand. Okarashvili's right hand just escaped Mura's grasp. And he was able to get that down onto the mat as well and stop any forward momentum. There's Mura again in. This time he doesn't get the hand off. and Mura comes up with a score, and a nice one as well. A really, really nicely executed low right-sided Ippon Seoinage.
As we know, we can't really write off this Georgian, Okarashvili.
He throws with only 1 second left. There's Mura again.
Mura is just getting in before him each time. He's just making him look passive, keeping him down. Clock will just tick away quite comfortably there.
He's not burning up enough time on the clock when they're on the ground, especially now that he's got the lead. He's got to be very, very clever here. 2 or 3 times he's been right underneath Okarashvili to attempt the low right-sided Ippon Seoinage. He's caught him once for a score, but the second part of that is to make sure that you use up the clock when you've got your man on the ground. He picks up a second penalty there. That was rather stupid for the fingers inside. And now here's another chance. He's good. Okarashvili wants to be up. Keep him down. Work on him here. The referee's called Mate. He's given Okarashvili the benefit of the doubt there. That's 2 occasions where he's been on the ground for 3 or 4 seconds apiece. There could have been 15. Yeah. That would have been half a minute gone.
Well, Mura now, as you can see, he's got two shields. It's just so dangerous to hold back now. He should be still attacking, still piling the pressure.
Here it is.
He's got the arm lock there.
Sit up, get the right leg over the head.
But
Tatishio Gatami. Here's the chance. The big man proves that he's and he missed the head again.
The arm lock is there, but when he's trying to direct it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
But this is the danger. Okarashvili looking for the Osakomi.
So he's come late in the game for Okarashvili, the opportunity on the ground.
Still got 29 seconds left, and Mura is trying to just keep him out. And
one attack
more, and that would be Hans Sokomaki.
One big effort from Mura.
He's defending. He's got to be careful now. That's where he's got to keep him down there for the seconds to click away. So
even Shinohara, the coach, was saying, "Get him on the ground." Yeah. It's not rocket science.
Unless he puts.
Okay.
Osakomi
with 1 second left to go.
Well, it's never over until that bell goes, and this just proves it. The crowd have just erupted as well. Okarashvili. Well, you can never write him off. And Mura will be absolutely devastated with that. Full credit for this Georgian. He never gave up. Kept going right to the end.
Tsirakidze was out of the chair. He was already going. Look, he's got a huge smile on his face because he knows that he was up and out of the chair. He was on his way out, and then Okarashvili put the Osaikomi on. We can laugh about it now, but it is sad. Sad for David Mura. He'd done all the hard work. But it's Adam Okarashvili of Georgia who makes his way into the final. I wonder what Shinohara is going to have to say to his charge there.
When you think about it, Okarashvili, you've got to give him credit for what he did. He just kept going.
Yeah, non-stop.
He's got to be kicking himself. He did all that, like you say, he did all the hard work, but he also threw it away.
Yeah.
He gave it to him on a plate.
Right, we've got a repechage contest here on mat 1, but there's a semi-final taking place on mat number 2. Let's go down to mat number 2 to have a second look at Samahawa Kamara of France. She faces Karen Stevenson of the Netherlands. It's Kamara in the white judogi, Stevenson in blue. It wasn't quite the exciting contest the last time we saw Kamara, but I'm going to put that down to the fact that she was facing Yahima Ramirez of Portugal, and that's always a difficult one. So Let's see if we can get a little bit more action out of the Kamara-Stevenson matchup. May not be quite as much action as we had with Mura and Okrashvili.
I don't think it'll be as exciting.
Okrashvili's been involved in 2 of the top fights of the day.
For me, he's been exciting. He has been exciting. What I like about it, he's the heaviest in that weight category, and he's the heaviest by about sort of 10 kilos, I think. But he never gives in. He's got a big heart. He keeps going right to the end. He doesn't throw in the towel. He just keeps persevering. Well,
he did Michalin in the opening contest, and he's just done for the number 1 seed here, David Mura.
Brilliant.
He's on course now. Here's Okrashvili. I can't see anyone stopping him now.
No, I can't. I can see him winning this.
Bondarenko is going to be his opponent in the final. Stanislav Bondarenko of Ukraine overcame Levani Matiashvili, or else it would have been an all-Georgian final. Single penalty against Kamara at the moment. Finding it a little bit difficult to work out. Stevenson, the Dutch fighter.
Well, this is quite a competent young lady, 5th in Dusseldorf. Just recently, 8 Continental Open medals under her belt.
So that wasn't the. I don't know if you saw that, because I know you've got a good degree of technical expertise, but that wasn't the kind of Osoto that you would coach. It was a step rather than a sweep. There wasn't anything there. Once she got the leg behind her, she would have had to have just pushed over. You know, there wasn't any chance for an Osotogari, because the leg was firmly planted.
And that's the biggest
on
mistake
the foot
that they made when they step.
That was a bit better.
It's a step and they stop, which breaks the whole movement of the Osotogari. The idea is you're hooking in with that leg and you're taking it right through back to where the start position of the foot was. And that's only where you should be stopping. And quite a few make that mistake, and they step in and they stop behind their opponent's leg.
40 seconds left to go. There's a single Shido against Kamara, so there's no positive score. That was terrific.
That was a lovely combination.
Beautiful
of techniques there.
Done. That was nice judo. See, if you've got trouble with the Osai Komi, then at least if you step in and you're between the legs, make it look as though you're active. But there was a stop there. You don't want to be back up. You've just scored. There are teens left on the clock. Make sure that you burn as much time in Nevas as possible. He's picked up a second penalty for avoiding to take a grip.
Well, we do know the Dutch girls they're comfortable, aren't they? And
well, Stevenson is one of 3 in that weight category.
Very experienced athlete.
The 2 that we've been talking about previously, 4 actually in there. Husha Steenhuis and Marhinda Verkerk, but Stevenson here, and Larissa Grunwald, the young Dutch fighter.
Well, they had to sadly they had to
they went head to head,
in the first round.
And did we see Larissa Grunwald? Yes, she did. She beat Yahima Ramirez. So Grunwald will compete for bronze, and now it'll be Stevenson to go into the bronze medal contest. So both Dutch fighters will have a chance of taking away a bronze medal. We're now going to, let's go down to mat number 1, because there's a semi-final in the other semi-final now in the under 78 kilo category. Madeline Malonga of France faces Anastasia Turchin, and if Madlonga wins this one, it'll be a head-to-head between her and Kamara.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, they've been having dinner together.
Ochigari.
Yeah.
Just nicely countered there, but
Yeah, they've been having dinner together every night on the table next to us. No score there. Malonga didn't come up with the finish, and Turchin couldn't come up with the control on the counter.
Right with the counter, yeah.
It was inconclusive, so no score.
Well, Malonga really needs. Well, we saw in the earlier match that she did pick up an injury, and she seems to be fine at this moment. Maybe you were right. It was just.
Oh, she does. They did give her a score. Turchin doesn't like the idea of that. Oh, well.
Malonga over there with that right hand very deep on that belt, looking to be able to hook in, but comes round the back. And puts Malonga in a better position now with the Wazari on the board. Turchin under a little bit of pressure, having to come back now. Also picks up a Shido. Two and a half minutes left in this contest.
Malonga is the more physically dominant fighter out of the two.
So close.
Yeah, and now
that was a continuous.
Why not?
I'm not sure whether they class that as a break, but from here it looked like she continued to move through for that counter.
Turchin's claiming the counter, well, certainly the coach is anyway.
Again, that injury seems to have flared up again. Well, from this angle, it looked like Turchin's throw. And yes, it is. Picks up the Wazari.
Tied things up now.
Turchin with the Ochigari. Switching it to Uchimata. Malonga thought about the Niwaza, but decided to opt out. This has turned out to be a very tough match indeed for both these athletes. Malonga coming over with that arm. Didn't manage to get the belt grip that she'd previously got before, which is very effective from the Uchimata combination that she does. Well, I think that's a bit of a giveaway sign when you're down in Niwaza and the first thing you do is look up at the scoreboard.
Yeah, it suggests that you're looking for the end of the contest.
Yeah, rather than engaging in trying to do something in the ground. Just under a minute now left. Wazari apiece. Well, Shido now awarded for the grip for Malonga. Well, Turchin starting to look the stronger of both now, aren't she? And there's the second Shido. One more would result in the hand Sokimaki. Still 34 seconds left in this, and she's got that grip.
She's
again.
uncomfortable.
She's drawing.
Yeah.
There's something happened
Yeah.
there. She's just folded completely. No, I don't think there's something right there. Although she may be tired, but she's not that weak to just fall to her knees.
Yeah, not under that small amount of pressure.
And she did pick that injury up at the beginning, and I think it's sort of raised its ugly head to show again in this match.
Well, it won't be an all-French final. There will be a French fighter in the final, but rather like the under 63 kilo category yesterday, when we suspected that it would be Catherine Unterwertsacher, and it ended up being Magdalena Kasakova, her teammate. We suspected that it would be Madeline Malonga, the number 1 seed, but it's going to be her teammate, Samahawa Kamara, to take the place in the final. Okay. Shame for Malonga, because she's obviously carrying an injury. We're going to have to jump down to mat number 2 now to have a look at the semi-final in the plus 78 kilo category. We are. Santa Pacanita of Lithuania faces Maria Suelen-Alterman of Brazil. Oh, he was shaking his head at something else. Right, let's go down to mat number 2, the semi-final in the plus 78 kilo category. Santa Pacanita of Lithuania faces Maria Suelen-Alterman of Brazil. It's Pacanita in the white judogi, Alterman in blue. We join the contest with Pacanita already leading by 2 wazaris. There's 2 minutes 43 still left on the clock, so she's been knocking her over in a short space of time. Already 2 scores on the board for the Lithuanian. It's the other semi-final as well that we're looking to see. Elena Kebadze of Georgia to face Marina Slutskaya of Belarus. That's coming up on mat number 1 after the repechage contest that's currently taking place down there. Ooh, I'll tell you what a comeback that was. A huge Harai Makikomi from Maria Suelen-Alterman launches Pacanita for Ippon. That was a bone-crunching effort from the Brazilian there. Well, the timing is good because Svetlana Jaromka has just defeated Sandra Jabonsklito. So we can go down to mat number 1. And we can take a look at the contest between Elena Kebadze of Georgia. She faces Marina Slutskaya of Belarus. It's Kebadze in the white judogi, Slutskaya in blue. Frank Dirch of Germany is the referee in the middle for this one.
Well, this will be the big hopeful for Georgia. Kebadze, she's had a great performance.
just managed to change the grip in time.
Slutskaya looks very strong out there. She's got good grip. She's controlling this match a little bit better than Kabadze. A drop there, but I think she's left herself wide open. And I don't know if that was
Across the
under
face.
chin. It was more across the face than...
Yeah. You know, she's had to tap out there because it was across her face.
It was hurting her face, and you could actually see that from that position. And the referee really, they should look at the care system, should look at that.
He was on the other side. He couldn't see that.
No, I think you've got to stop with that one, because she only stopped because it was her jaw that was under a lot of pressure, and it was either you put up with that and get it dislocated. And I think you can see as she's turned round, just you get a glimpse of where it is.
Well, he's in the perfect position, though.
Now there, it's on the face.
Yeah, but
the hand was across on the nose.
Frank's in the perfect position to see that. Look, he walks right to the spot where you must be able to see that from there.
No, that definitely wasn't a submission. You can see that she's giving that signal. Well, that's good. They've reversed that decision.
If I was Kabadze from that position, I'll be straight on the shimmy waza.
Disqualified for that.
I'll be straight on there.
Always believe me, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
I think I might have done what, who was it? Louisa Maltzahn very famously did. She took a deliberate handsokumake after one of her teammates took a bit of a whacking from the Japanese. When she had to fight the Japanese in the next round, she came out and just whacked her.
No.
No. Sorry, it was the best thing I've ever seen.
You shouldn't be promoting that.
I'm just saying it like it is, man. You know, it was you would have loved it.
I know.
It was absolute class. Came out. I'm sorry. It was Sato.
Oh, lovely.
That was great. Yeah,
well,
good work.
No question about that. Good Rosari. And the Osakomi is on this time.
Yeah.
Well, Slutskaya was just that little bit more experienced than her opponent. And Kabadze did well. And she's got a chance for a bronze medal a little bit later on. So once again, this crowd will be totally behind this up-and-coming athlete from Georgia.
Yeah, they've got 3.5 years to prepare her. If they've got the hopes of her qualifying for the Olympic Games and doing anything, they've got 3.5 years.
It's doable.
Yeah, I think so. She's shown with the win against the number 1 seed Iaromka that she's got something about her. Right, Marina Slutskaya gets past Kabadze of Georgia. We've got repechage contests on both mats, but we've got a semi-final coming up after this, so we'll hang on here. Let's take a look. Let's see if we've got here in the under 90 kilo repechage contest. Right, Peter Zilka of Slovakia faces Shaksodbek Sabirov of Uzbekistan. Zilka in the white judogi, Sabirov in blue. Zilka we've featured almost every one of his fights today. Shangi Margiani of Georgia has just won his repechage contest against Gantolga Altenbanger of Mongolia. Nice effort there from Zilka. I wonder if the chat that his coach had with him after the last contest is going to change the shape, change his approach to things.
Well, Zavarov really hasn't got into this match at the moment. He's trying to... You see that left hand is just blocking his opponent's right, but not enough. Zilka can come through that shoulder. He's still got movement there. Makakomi, but left himself a little bit loose.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to move across to mat number 2 because Ver Gabor of Hungary faces Mikhail Igolnikov of Russia. It's the semi-final of the under 90 kilo category. If you want to watch the repechage contest between Zilka and Sabirov, just click on 1. You'll be able to get that. We're going to see who it is. One of these fighters is going to be in the final. There in the white judogi, Igolnikov in blue. We'll go back to mat number 1 to see the other semi-final when that gets underway. Oh, Sabirov has just done for Zilka, actually.
Well, that's a great start for the Russian.
He's a terrific thrower, Igolnikov. There's another Russian coming on to mat number 1.
As we've looked so many times throughout this weekend, the depth that the Russians have.
Oh, beautiful.
Superb. Beautiful attack there. What a finish.
We'll have a look at this replay.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's just have a look at the replay and then we'll jump back to Stewart and Ratinsky. I'm sure they're going to bring one up, and they haven't got underway yet, Stewart and Ratinsky, because it was such a terrific throw. I'm surprised they haven't come up with it yet. Maybe they're not going to give us one. Hang on for another second or so. It really was worth it. But they're not going to give us one. Right, okay, we've got no choice. We'll go down to mat number 1. It would have been lovely to have seen it, but sometimes we have to take what we get. Stewart of Great Britain in the white judogi, Ratinsky of Russia in blue, and here is Loretta Cusack-Doyle.
Sheldon. Oh yeah, we have this semi-final place in the final. Stewart of Great Britain in the white. Ratinsky in the blue, representing Russia. Stewart there with the cross grip and dropped under his opponent with the Sianagi. Looking there for the Sutemi Waza. More of a ploy to get into the Niwaza. Ratinsky there picking up the second Shido been awarded, one already going to Stewart in the earlier seconds of this contest. Nice bit of Ashiwaza there from Stewart. Uses his feet very well. Great grip and a lovely Uchimata. Well, so far, strongest attacks have come from Stewart. He's got that cross grip again. Controls his opponent's right sleeve. Stewart's piling the pressure on again. Uchimata into the Makakomi. And Rutinsky looking a little bit frustrated out there at this moment. Not really had a bit of a shout in the contest yet. Down considerably on the attacks. This is where sometimes they're quite clever, the Russians, in the Niwaza. Stewart just picking up a bit of an injury there. It was that rotation over that caused him the problem. Uchimata, oh, so close for Rutinsky. Don't know how much that wrist injury is causing Stewart. But he's backed off a little bit here, looking for some Niwaza. With just a minute, just over a minute left in this contest. Oh, closer to scoring at this moment is Rutinsky. He starts to change the pace and looks to be more controlling now in this contest. Stewart took the first half of the contest with the grips and the attacks. He was up considerably on the attacks, but now it's looking a little bit scrappy here for him. He's too loose in the attacks. Lovely Ashiwaza there, caught him really cold off the Hajime. And now he's looking for, as you can see, the shimiwaza there, but there's no chance.
Rutinsky wasn't at all bothered, was he?
He just sort of looked at him. So 8 seconds, and we'll be going into the golden score. But these guys are big throwers, and oh, there was an opportunity there for Stewart. Just didn't sidestep that. Uchimata quick enough.
Yeah, the Sakeshi was in the background, wasn't it?
Just there, he just didn't react. We could see it happening. Oh! Well, I don't know. That's a bit of a 50-50, isn't it?
Well, it's at the feet of the referee, and he wants to give it, but he's not sure. His hand was almost up, and then he decided against it.
It was a very close call, that one. See it again.
Dennis Stewart doesn't think so, but you know, it's his dad, isn't it? You know, plus coach.
Well, I think the problem is with what they identify as a Wazari. They're looking at the old Wazari, and the old Wazari is almost a pawn, but the new Wazari is the Yuko Wazari together. That was the previous match that we're just looking at there now, that final moment. Superb technique.
Golnikov, super thrower.
Oh, wonderful attack.
Right, who have we got now?
We'll go into the repechage where he'll compete against Sabarov for the bronze medal.
Selim Kotsoiev of Azerbaijan faces Luciano Correa of Brazil. Or yeah, that's right. The semi-final down on mat number 2. Thanks very much. Kazbek Zankishiev of Russia faces Rafael Buzakarini of Brazil. It's Zankishiev in the white judogi, Buzakarini in blue. what would have been Yuko is now Wazari,
Yes.
and that would have been
a
a
superb
Yuko. Yeah. So, gotta give Wazari for it. Right. Let's see what's happening with Zankishiev and Buzakarini. Both fighters have picked up a penalty apiece. We've had the first minute, and it's Zankishiev in white and Buzakarini in blue.
The Brazilian, as you can see, with the controlling of the grips at this moment. A real sizing up of Russian attack in there, and comes underneath, loses a little bit of control, but falls over the wrong side and gets the score of Wazari. Puts the Russian in a comfortable lead with one Wazari on the board, with just halfway through this contest. It's less than 2 minutes remaining. The Russian doing well to control the grips of the Brazilian, who's looking a little bit frustrated. You can see he's trying to get that hand right across that right sleeve, cross gripping. Russian holding the sleeve down, controlling it quite nicely. And Russian with a high collar grip as he tries to draw his opponent's head down to his height. Lovely attempt there of the Osotogari. Kosota. Couple of nice attacks there from the Brazilian. A little bit of a gutsy move there, but really didn't have anything to follow through with. Kiskiev there really looking a little bit under pressure with those grips for that last minute. And then picks up the second Shido for that. 19 seconds left. Brazilian piling on the pressure now. Tominagi. And Kiskiev there just keeping his opponent at bay, hanging on to those last seconds there to take the place in the final of the under 100 kilos.
So who we got then? Is it Pacic and Borodevko to follow? That'll tell us who's going to be in the final to face Kazbek Zankishiev. Well, that's all the judo that we've got down on mat number 2. We're going to go back down to mat number 1, because after this repechage contest between Zelim Kotsoiev of Azerbaijan and Luciano Correa of Brazil, we're going to have the last semi-final, Martin Pacek and Yevgenis Borodavko, and it's Kotsouiev who's fought really hard today. He's really battled away. He's come up with the single Wazari to edge out Luciano Correa of Brazil. It's Kotsouiev who we'll see in the bronze medal match. That's the end of the day for Luciano Correa. Coming up next, Martin Pacek of Sweden faces Yevgenis Borodavko of Latvia. It's Pacek in the white judogi, Borodavko.
Here now on the last semi-final. Pacek representing Sweden in the white, world ranked number 8. Borodavko, world ranked 54, quite a considerable difference here. They're both picking up a Shido for the grips. Davydenko there coming through. First strong attack there for him, but it's still very slow.
Got to be so careful when you pick up a Shido in the first half minute. Both fighters did that because of that gripping infringement.
It's just with the gripping.
Yeah,
yes.
And unfortunately, he can't say, well, it's early on, I can't give it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. They've got to give the penalty. And now, makes it difficult because if you pick up a second and you've still got 2.5 minutes to go.
You're in a dangerous situation. Borodavko looks the stronger of the two out here at the moment. The number 1 seed, Pacek. Uchigari, another nice attack there.
Well, he threw beautifully with Uchimata earlier on when he threw Grigory Menashkin,
yes,
the Estonian. Well, you said that Borodavko looked tall. That was because Menashkin was a bit short. Well, look, even Pacek's taller than.
Yes.
He's even taller, although he's particularly tall for the weight category.
Normal now.
Yeah.
But before he actually looked quite really big. He looked more towards the heavyweight division, the plus. Well, Borodavko there picking up the second Shido, which, like you said earlier, this now puts a lot of pressure on the Latvian. Pacek looks really, as you can see, Bodarenko is just holding on to that sleeve, controlling quite nicely. Sutemi was her attempt there. Well, 1 minute and 22 seconds left. The Latvian really has to try and start changing the pace of this contest, putting on a little bit more pressure. It's the stronger of grips, but doesn't follow through.
Just going back to that striking video we were talking about when Malzahn and Sato at the Tokyo Grand Slam. It's 2013, and unfortunately we don't have it. I'd like to have seen that particular punch up. Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Sasai, wasn't it?
Well, he showed that. He gave him the big warning to say, here I come. He put his hand over, he took it back and then tried to throw it again. By that time, Latvian was ready for him. Borodavko there is really causing the number 1 seed a lot of problems with these grips. As you can see, he's controlling the sleeves quite nicely, and there's crossed over, but very, very close of that Osota.
That's as close as Borodavko has come. Really had Patrick on the back foot there, didn't he?
Seems to be causing a lot of problems here. Now we're into the golden score. Well, not sure what happened there, but he collapsed to the ground.
Early in golden score.
I'll
Toe,
check.
maybe?
Yeah, I'm not
Stubbed his toe.
It came from a sweep, but he's obviously recovered well enough to continue in this golden score. Sutemi Waza trying to lure him into the ground. Oh, I think he'll get away with that one this time, but possibly not if he attempts it quite quickly. Oh, this looks very dangerous. Oh, yes! Oh. Well, Borodavko was really trying to grapple and come round into the core and left there for the big sacrifice, but Pacek was waiting for it.
He's a clever fighter, Pacek. You know, he's been around for a long time. He skirts on the edge with the rules and a little bit of tactics. But hey, you know, when you can come up with this kind of finish.
The hips were in there.
Yeah.
He hooked him with the Ouchigari and then brought the hips through. And that arm over the back was the real weapon that he had to finish that attack. Great finish.
Oh, and he touched the leg anyway, Borodavko. Just before that, if they show once more, you should see what? There he goes.
Yes.
He's all over him.
So he was going to get him one way or another.
One way or the other, he was going to go, there goes the hand. Oops. Yeah. It's instinctive. Borodavko comes from a time when we had the Teguruma, and that would have been the time to apply it, wouldn't it?
Yes, definitely.
However, that time has gone, I'm afraid. But he was all over him.
Well spotted.
I told you, the minuscule, the unimportant, because it didn't matter because Pacek threw him in the end and it was golden score. But hey, if it wasn't and that gets missed.
Exactly.
It's there though, isn't it? Look, it just briefly, he just gets the left hand on the thigh as they go over. Right, didn't have to worry in the end because Pacek did come up with the throw. So we've got a rundown then of who we're going to see in the the finals. It won't be. Let's start with the under 78 kilo category. It won't be Madeleine Malonga because she lost out. It's Anastasia Turchin of the Ukraine.
Well, Malonga, she picked up that
injury,
right
yeah,
at the
that did
beginning,
for her.
and I think that plagued her all the way through. But not taking it away from Turchin, she was looking good.
And Kamara.
Kamara as well, so that's going to be a very interesting
There's
final.
a real chance here for Turchin, you know.
I think so.
It could be the kind of opponent that she'll do well against. We'll have to see.
Definitely, yes.
Right, Anastasia Turchin of the Ukraine will face Hamasawa Kamara of France. What about in the plus 78 kilo category?
Well, looking at performances, I've really got my suspicion that the Brazilian Althima will come through. She's been on form today, and
threw nicely, didn't she?
Threw nicely.
Jablonskaya, or Pakanita, she threw beautifully.
Right.
Yeah.
Slutskaya, you just can't write her off. She's an experienced fighter. It's going to be a good match, I think.
Right.
Money's on Brazil.
Marina Slutskaya of Belarus to face Maria Suarez
The
of
Brazilians
Brazil.
they're on a high.
Yeah,
They've been
we've
doing
heard
really
their
well.
anthem
They're
a couple of
top
times.
Yeah.
And they had a Christmas present yesterday, early Christmas present.
Definitely.
Right, under 90 kilos then. The number 1 seed.
Well, we have the number 1 seed went out. He's in for the bronze medal.
Max Stewart didn't make it.
From Great
Ratinsky
Britain.
then.
Ratinsky.
And Igolnikov.
I think this is going to be an interesting. Ratinsky, I think, is the one that for me that could come through.
The Russian B championships, because neither of these two are the top. But we've seen Igolnikov throwing beautifully. So
it'll be interesting to see. I'm sort of on the edge here with these two. I don't know which way that will go, but I'm going to put my foot in there and say Ratinsky.
Stanislav Ratinsky to face Mikhail Igolnikov of Russia. That's the under 90 kilo category. The under 100 kilo category. Pacek of Sweden. Martin Pacek is up against Zankishiev of Russia. Zelennikan Zankishiev of Russia.
But I think Pacek, he's trudged along all the way.
Kazbek. Come on.
Everyone he's been pushing through.
Yeah, he's found a way, hasn't he?
It's not been easy for him. He's had some difficult, challenging matches. But I think when he's now in the final, he's got time to compose himself, get himself ready for the final. I think he'll do it today.
Martin Pacek and Kazbek Zankishiev, the Swede, and the Russian, and in the plus 100 kilo category.
Well, we have Ukarashvili. I think he's going to do it today. Bodorenko, he's an experienced fighter. We know that. But home soil, definitely I think this will go to Russia.
And
Georgia, sorry.
Adam Okrashvili, a little bit like Pacek, has just found a way when it's been difficult, hasn't he? He's always found a way, He leaves it to the last second.
Highs and lows, and he leaves everything to the last second. But what you have to give him credit for is perseverance. He just keeps working.
Stickability.
Right to the end. He never gives up. And for me, that sold it for me for this final.
Adam Okrashvili of Georgia and Stanislav Bondarenko of Ukraine will go head-to-head in the plus 100 kilo category. That'll all be kicking off, if you like, at 5 o'clock. It's 20-3 here in Tbilisi. But from Loretta Kusak-Doyle and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.